Good morning, dear students. I am Ms. Navida Sheikh from Brahan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika MCGM virtual class. I welcome all my dear students to another and interesting session. In today's session, we'll be learning something new and interesting from a science textbook. So let's get started. Dear students, I welcome all my dear students to another and interesting session. I am Ms. Navida Sheikh, and today we'll be learning a very interesting chapter from your science textbook, that is Life Processes and Living Organism Part 1. So, what happens to the cell of injured tissue? Have you ever noticed that if you get hurt, what happens to the finger? If you get hurt, you will notice that within a few days, the cells which are injured, they get recovered and the finger gets back in shape, right? So many cells of the injured tissues get damaged when you get hurt. Some cells of the injured tissue undergo division to form new cells. Thus, the cells lost in the injury are restored back. So, new cells are formed by cell division, which helps to repair and heal the injured tissue. So, here you can see in the next image here how the injured part is recovered with the help of cell division. Okay, so cell division is a process that is very important for our growth and for if you get hurt, in order to repair that particular part, it helps in all that. Okay, now there's another question. How does the growth of any living organism occur? Does the number of cells in their body increase? If yes, how? So the answer is by cell division. The growth of any living organism occurs by cell division. In cell division, the number of cells increase as every cell in cell division divides into two cells. In this way, the number of the cell in their body increases and this causes their growth. Everybody has got this point? Means in this image you can see that one cell, it keeps on dividing. First it divides into two, those two divide into further two, and the process goes on. And in this way, your body keeps on growing, right? Cell division is very important, as I told you from the very first slide that we studied. Cell division is one of the very important properties of cell and living organisms. Due to this property only, a new organism is formed from existing one. A multicellular organism grows up and emaciated body can be restored. Here you can see you have learnt in your 7th standard how a living organism is formed from one minute cell. Okay, so many cells when they divide and they form tissue, the tissues form organs and the organs form organ system and it forms an organism. So many cells are involved and these cells, how are they formed? The cells are formed by cell division. Talking about cells, the very important thing that we learned in your 8th standard was about the cell organelles. Means in a single cell there are many things that are there and they have various functions that we study. So in a cell you have the main important part, that is the nucleus, and inside the nucleus there are still further things, right? You have learned about RNA, DNA, chromosomes. Now what are these? You have learned it earlier, but still we are going to just give you a quick glimpse of all the things that you will be needing to know about in this further chapter. Okay, so here is an image of a cell. In the cell you can see the nucleus, you can see mitochondria, you can see the Golgi complex. Alright, so first in this chapter we are emphasizing more on the nucleus part. So nucleus in each cell is very important. Besides, other cell organelles are also present, but we are going to emphasize more on nucleus. Here the cell is, everybody knows, it is the unit of life, and in that unit of life nucleus is the one which controls all the activities which goes on in the cell. So the nucleus has some further organelles which are important for us, like the chromosomes. Now the chromosome is responsible for all the genetic information that it carries from one generation to the other. Okay, so what is a chromosome and how does it look like? So what is a chromosome? We have already learned it, so we will look at what is the shape of the chromosome. Now in this chapter we will be dealing about with cell division, and in cell division every part of the cell is going to divide, and including the chromosomes as well. So let's understand about the chromosome structure. This part that you see, this blue color portion like an X which appears, but remember this X doesn't have both the sides equal in length. One part is shorter and the other part is longer. So the shorter arm is called as the P and the longer arm is called as the Q. In the center there is a centromere, okay, and you have these two identical chromatids, means these two strands that you see are nothing but the chromatids. Okay, again I'll repeat, P arm is the short arm structure, Q arm is the long arm structure, and in the center you have the centromere. Okay, and inside these inside the chromosome, if it is unwinded, then you will have the DNA molecules on there. Okay, which is the carrier of the genetic information from one generation to the other. Now cell division, as I told you, we will be learning, and in cell division occurs in two parts. First is mitosis, which occurs in somatic cells and stem cells, and meiosis, which occurs in germ cells. Now you must be thinking about what is somatic cell, what are stem cells, what are germ cells. So let's understand that first. What are somatic cells, where they are present, and then we will understand about mitosis. So what are stem cells? Stem cells are special human cells that are able to develop into many different cell types. This can range from muscle cells to brain cells. In some cases, they can also fix damaged tissues. Now here, I'll give you a very simple example of where a stem cell is present in an adult organism. Now stem cells are present in the bone marrow. The bone that you have, inside the bone, there is a substance which is called as the bone marrow, which has these stem cells. Now it is said that these stem cells are responsible and they can actually multiply and help in healing wounds, also in making organs as well, like liver and so on. So the main feature of the stem cell is that it can divide to give rise to both more stem cells and also specialized cells like nerve cells or muscle cells. No other type of cell can do this. Okay. So if you take a cell from the heart, that is the cardiac cell, so it won't multiply as the stem cell is going to multiply and help in recovering or in healing a particular part of the body. Okay, so it is very important, and in this way stem cells replenishes themselves at the same time that they provide new specialized cell to create or repair organs and tissues. So stem cells is very interesting. These help in reducing inflammation, they help in fighting the cell death, they also help in building nerve cells and muscle cells. All right. What are somatic cells? Somatic cells are diploid cells. Now, diploid cells and haploid cells, these words you will be learning again and again. So, I will be explaining you this part in the next slide. First, just we will go through somatic cells are diploid cells which contain two parts of chromosomes, one received from each parent. Any cell other than the germ cell. Germ cells are the sperm and the egg. Okay, in humans the sperm, or in the animals I would say, the sperm and the egg are the germ cells. So I won't be explaining your germ cells in detail. This is a very simple example that you can remember for germ cells. So somatic cells are any cells other than the germ cells. Okay, gametocytes, that is cells that divide to form germ cells, and undifferentiated stem cells are known as somatic cells. Like unlike germ cells, somatic cells are not capable of producing offsprings. Instead, they form all the internal organs and tissues and contribute significantly to their functionalities. Like if you talk about the heart, that is the cardiac tissue or the cardiac cells that it has. Okay, like the bone tissue or the nerve cells, the RBCs, that is the red blood cells, or smooth muscles. Now, the muscles that are present in your intestine, that is the epithelial cell, fat adipose cells, all these cells are responsible for particular organ in your body, right? And they are doing a particular function, and they cannot multiply and provide help to the other organs, okay, like the stem cells. So they are different from them. Now we move on to the next important term, that is haploids versus diploids. Now this you will have to remember carefully. If you pay attention, it is easy to remember. Haploids mean one set of chromosome. ठीक है, chromosomes you have learned. Chromosomes के बारे में हम लोग ने देखे, chromosomes न्यूक्लियस में प्रेजेंट होते हैं, उसका स्ट्रक्चर देखे हैं. Only one set of chromosome अगर होगा, ठीक है, मतलब वो अपर आर्म और लोअर आर्म वाला अगर वन सेट ऑफ क्रोमोसोम इज प्रेजेंट, that is a haploid cell. Okay, in humans haploid number is 23. We also say it as n. n number denote करता है, ठीक है. In humans gametes like the sperm and the ova are haploid. Only these two things are haploid, means having one set of chromosome. Okay, because eventually they will unite and they will form diploid. Okay, diploid means two sets of chromosomes. Like here in this picture you can see easily there are two n's, means two numbers, that is 23 and 23, means it will become 46. In human, all body cells other than gametes are diploid. So all the cells, whether somatic or stem cells, every cell is diploid except for your sperm and the ova. They are haploid cells. Okay. So it is very simple. If you remember the examples, you will remember what are haploids and what are diploids. Now, the first thing that we are going to study is the mitosis. In cell division, the first that we are going to learn is mitosis. What exactly happens in mitosis? So the somatic cells and the stem cells divide by mitosis. Mitosis is completed through two main steps. Those two steps are karyokinesis, that is nuclear division, and cytokinesis, that is cytoplasmic division. Karyokinesis is completed through four steps, and first we'll be studying about those four steps. Now remember, in mitosis, that is, it occurs in cells like the somatic cells or the stem cells. If you're taking it, we have learned that cells have two regions. First is the nuclear region and the other is the cytoplasmic region. The cytoplasm has all the other organelles, and in the nucleus you have the chromosomes present. Okay, so we will be dividing mitosis into two parts. How the cell divides with the help of mitosis, we will study that. So first part that we are going to start with is the karyokinesis. Now in that, four steps are involved. So mitosis is essential. Why we are going to study mitosis? Because it is essential for the growth of the body. Your body grows because of mitosis, which is happening in your cells. Besides, it is necessary for restoration of emaciated body, wound healing, formation of blood cells. Okay, so that is the reason it is very important for us to understand how the cells are actually dividing. Because हम लोग ने last year देखे थे कि cells और organelles क्या होते हैं, ठीक है? So today we are getting to learn about how the cells are actually dividing, how the organelles inside are going to divide, and how the transfer of genetic material is going to take place. So let's get okay. So the first we have is the prophase. In mitosis, the first step which occurs is the prophase. In this, what happens is the condensation of basically thin thread-like chromosomes starts. Means the chromosomes are very thin and thread-like, and then here what happens here is they start to become short and thick, and they start to appear along with their pairs of sister chromatids. I have explained you all the part of the chromosomes, the two long elongated structure that you have seen, which is known as the chromatids. Okay, these chromatids now they are coming together in pairs of two. Okay, now the centriole duplicates, means the centriole divides into two parts, and they go towards the end of the two ends of the cell. Okay, which is called as the poles of the cell. This nuclear membrane here and the nucleolus starts to disappear. Now, if you view this image, the first image, if you see, you will see that there is a proper nucleus that you can see. That is the purple region that you see. and inside it you can see there are chromatids, sister chromatids which are there. Okay, now after a few period of time, what you will see that in the last image here, you will see that there is no prominent nuclear membrane and nucleolus. Okay, because it has started to disappear. This is the prophase period of mitosis. The next is metaphase. Metaphase में क्या होता है? The nuclear membrane completely disappears. You cannot see the nucleus here, है ना? It disappears completely. The chromosomes complete their condensation and become clearly visible. Now you can see how clearly visible the chromosomes are along with their sister chromatids. All chromosomes are arranged parallel to equatorial plane. Means if the two poles, you all can see the two poles where the centrioles are there of the cell, okay, उसके बीच में हम लोग अपने आप को arrange करते हैं. So all the chromosomes arranged parallel to the equatorial plane, that is the central plane of the cell. Special type of flexible protein fibers, that is the spindle fibers, okay, are formed between centromere of each chromosome and both centrioles. Now listen and pay attention to the image carefully. If you notice the centriole, ठीक है, centriole के ऊपर ध्यान दो और क्रोमोसोम्स के अंदर जो क्रोमैटिड्स हैं उसके ऊपर ध्यान दो. In chromatids in the center there is centromere, right? And we have learned that the centrioles have moved towards the ends of the cell. So your centriole or centromere, they connect to each other with the help of a flexible protein fiber called as the spindle fiber. ठीक है, ये जो डॉटेड लाइन दिखाई दे रही है ब्लू कलर की, that is nothing but the spindle fiber which is formed between the centromere of each chromosome and both centriole. Okay, interesting, right? The next is anaphase. In anaphase, centromeres split and thereby sister chromatids of each chromosome separate and they are pulled apart in opposite direction with the help of spindle fibers. Now spindle fibers हम लोग ने last slide में देखे थे. Those dotted lines that you see which connects the centromere and the centriole with each other, they are going to move apart now. Let's have a look at it, how it is going to happen. Now the chromosomes being pulled appear like bunch of bananas. In this way, each set of chromosomes reach at two opposite poles of the cell. Now have a look over here. If you see, the chromosomes had arranged themselves in an in this manner in the center. Now they are being pulled apart towards the centriole. Okay, so chromosomes being pulled apart appear like a bunch of bananas. In this way, each set of chromosomes reach at two opposite poles of the cell. Now remember, basically what is the idea behind all this? It is to divide all the material equally in a cell and form two cells, right? So how the chromosomes are going to divide? By this method. Okay, so the chromosomes here, they first by the prophase, and after that, now the third step in anaphase, what are they doing is they are dividing now. Okay, so the chromosomes have now broken at the centromeres and sister chromatids move to opposite ends of the cell. Now the next phase is the telophase. The chromosomes which have reached at opposite poles of the cell now start to decondense. Means now what will happen is very interesting thing, due to which they again become thread-like, thin and invisible. Okay? So nuclear membrane is formed around each set of chromosomes reached at pole. Thus two daughter nuclei are formed in a cell. Nucleolus also appear in each daughter cells nucleus, spindle fibers completely disappear. Now see, it is very simple to understand. If you're just reading it, then it will be difficult. Just look at the image. It is very interesting. If you see, as we learned that the chromosomes have already divided and they are moving towards the centrioles, right? Now because of the movement, what will happen is now the chromosomes have divided into two sets, right, on each of the sides. These chromosomes will now again decondense and they will become thin, thread-like as they were earlier in the cell nucleus. Now after becoming thread-like, here you will again notice that the nucleus tends to appear. It is started to appear. The nuclear membrane is formed around each of the chromosomes, okay, which has reached at the pole. So in the last picture, you can see that the purple image is purple color is being formed. That is nothing but the nuclear membrane. And in the nuclear membrane, these chromosomes that were already broken down and they have moved towards the end are getting inside the nuclear membrane and they will be there. Okay, so this is a very interesting way of mitosis in which the chromosomes break and they move towards the poles of the cell, and then the cell now is going to divide further. Okay, so let's see how it is going to happen. In this way, the first part of mitosis is completed, that is the karyokinesis completes. Okay, and now the cytokinesis begin. Karyokinesis was inside the nucleus whatever was happening. Okay, so अब ये सेल के अंदर जो न्यूक्लियस था उसके अंदर जो भी डिवीजन होना था वो हो गया. ठीक है, अब न्यूक्लियस के अंदर का सामान दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो गया. Now cytokinesis. Cytokinesis deals with the cytoplasm. Okay, the cytoplasm divides by cytokinesis and two new cells are formed which are called as daughter. In this process, a notch is formed at the equatorial plane of the cell, which deepens gradually and thereby two new cells are formed. Okay, very simple. जैसे normally cell division हम लोग ने पहले पढ़े हैं when you were in your 7th and 8th standard, you've learned about cell division. Same way here, it is very simple. Now the nuclear material is already divided. अब next step क्या होगा? Cytoplasm जो cell के अंदर अब वो divide होगा. ठीक है. However, in the case of plant cells, instead of the notch, a cell plate is formed exactly along midline of the cell and thus cytokinesis is completed. So here you can see how the cytokinesis appears. Uh, cytokinesis के अंदर the cytoplasm is going to divide, and along with the, here you can see in this image, the cell is now going to divide. You can see how at the two ends the nuclear membrane is formed and there is RNA inside it. Along with this, now mitochondria is divided, Golgi body is divided, endoplasmic reticulum is divided, and in the plants even chloroplasts have divided. Okay, and now you have two cells present with you from one cell, that is because of mitosis. Okay, so I hope it is a very interesting process that you have understood. In the next we have meiosis. Meiosis occurs in two steps, that is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Now it is very simple because it is similar to what we have already learned, so quickly understand this. It is a crossing over which occurs between homologous chromosomes, and thereafter those homologous chromosomes which are not sister chromatids, okay, are divided into two groups and thus two haploid cells are formed. Here you can see clearly that there are two chromosomes, right? During meiosis, what will happen? They will divide into two groups, okay, forming what? Haploid cells. I've explained here what is haploid cells. एक एक single cells n form करेंगे, ठीक है? The second part of meiosis is, it is just like mitosis. जैसे हम लोग ने mitosis पढ़े थे, it is similar to that. What happens here is the two haploid daughter cells, haploid की बात हो रही है, ठीक है? Haploid daughter cells formed in meiosis 1 undergoes division by separation of recombined sister chromatids. And now see here the word is mentioned recombined, means here there are not the same sister chromatids are used, they have recombination, okay, or crossover you could say. And four haploid daughter cells are formed. How many are formed? Four daughter cells are formed. The process of gamete production and spore formation occurs by meiosis, means in human beings, male and female, they have gametes in them, right? That is the sperm and the ovum. These are haploid cells. I have been explaining you all from the very beginning. Okay. In this type of cell division, four haploid daughter cells are formed from one diploid cell. Means we have learned that cell division is happening and there is diploid cell is being formed. But when we talk about meiosis, we are talking about haploid cell. Okay, so during the cell division, crossing over occurs between the homologous chromosomes. Here you can see, same as mitosis has occurred, these chromosomes are moving towards the end, and with the help of the spindle fiber they will go ahead towards the centriole. Everybody can see. Then the nuclear membrane will be formed. Now this, they have divided into two cells. Now they will further divide into two more, means four cells. Four haploid daughter cells are formed, okay, from one diploid cell. So this is what is meiosis. It is very interesting because it is something related to your body and you need to know about it, right? Because everything in your body is it is very important and very interesting. How it is happening, how you have grown from a small kid to a big adult now. Okay, now this is all because of cell division which is taking place in your body. And I hope with these two methods, that is mitosis and meiosis, it is clear to you all. This part of cell division, that is mitosis and meiosis, is a very interesting part of your body. So it is important for us to remember this thing and how it happens. If you relate to this every now and then, you will remember this part as well. I hope to see you in the next coming period. Till then, thank you.
If you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and do not forget to hit the like button.
Hope this session was quite useful to you. In the next coming period, we'll learn something new and interesting. Till then, thank you.